What's happening, Bulls? We are Saturday morning crypto update. We got a lot of news, as you can see. Well, I'll show you in a second. A lot of tabs, a lot of news, a lot of interesting stuff, and a lot of charts. These are the times in crypto where everyone's beat to death. Everyone's beat to death. Sentiment is at massive lows. People are just completely sick of trying to time the bottom. I know I am, because that's what happens, right? You go short, you go short, you go short, you try long. You go short, you go short, you go short, you try long. You go short, you go short, you try long. And that's just how it happens. Especially if you want to try and catch a volatility expansion at the bottom, or catch a volatility expansion at the bottom, or a reversal at least. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the news like usual, and then we're going to flick over. We got so feeling a little bit bullish, tingle in the nutsack. We've got some interesting stuff. Let's flick over to some of the news. Let's have a little look. So first off, we got Senator Loomis says the US buying Bitcoin will scare China, and we will have an arms race over BTC instead of weapons. You know, Donald Trump is an extremely competitive man, loves to win, and he does, because everybody loves doing what they are good at, and winning is something that DJT is one of the best at. Believe it or not, whether you like him, love him, or hate him, he wins. He's a winner. And I'm not sure if he's aware yet. He probably sees these numbers and thinks, okay, cool, we're winning. We're working on how we can get more of that. But I'm not sure if he realizes that there is a big lawsuit. Well, it's underway, but it sounds like it's resolved. And that lawsuit is that nearly half of this Bitcoin is actually going to go back to the Bitfinex exchange after the hacking. So Bitfinex was hacked, Bitcoin was confiscated, and those Bitcoin now, as per judge's order, are going to go back to the exchange that they were hacked from initially, which in turn leaves United States having half as much Bitcoin as China. And that is something that Donald Trump would absolutely hate to hear about, because that's not his style. He's not a loser. Here's something fun that we can do together. Is this dude somehow started following him? Whatever, looks like a not my type of page, but regardless of that, the Altcoin Crypto Cup Layer 1 edition. He looks like he's having a bit of fun, and that's all that we want to do out here, is just have a bit of fun. So time for a recap of this tournament and make gains. Fun keeps us interested. Gains keeps us around. Only 2 spots left in the quarterfinals. Which altcoin do you want to win this tournament? So let's have a look together. Ethereum gets smashed straight away by hype. Tron gets done by... What's that one? Actually, don't think I know that one. What coin is that? Because let's go through it together, and I'll tell you who I think is going to win. Oh shit, wrong. I need to go CoinGecko. Here we go. Okay. Looking for the logo. Some black and white. Oh, it's Aptos. Yeah, I thought Aptos was red. Maybe they've changed it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. So Aptos beat, man, already. I mean, hype's got the hype. So you could give it a go. I guess against Ethereum. This shows the sentiment, doesn't it? How bad is the sentiment currently for Ethereum? Ethereum sentiment is fucked. Ethereum sentiment has, I'm almost going to say, since 2017, since I came into this space, early 2017, Ethereum sentiment has never been worse. Ever. It's like 8 years of just pure, better sentiment than what it is right now. Insane. So Ethereum generational bottom potentially. Who knows? I mean, it's either on the brink of death, or this is going to be, in hindsight, should have bet for it. Ethereum was never going to lose. Tron, I don't know how you can fade Tron even against Aptos. Shows how there's such a strong Aptos community. But Tron gains, man. Let's just tab out real quick and have a quick look at the Tron gains. Like Tron is one of the best performing cryptos ever. I'm literally going to say ever. Like there's funky stuff that happens with the price. There's no doubt about that. It's some sort of manipulation, at least bare minimum. But look at this: daily chart, weekly chart. This is like, go other than Bitcoin. Go and find me a better altcoin chart. This goes all the way about 2018. June 2018. This is just on the Binance exchange. Tron was around a little bit earlier than that, I believe. Yeah, a bit of a downtrend, but from 2020, it's literally gone nothing but up for the last 5 years. You've experienced a nice, gentle, caressing 20x in 5 years. I mean, I know people in traditional markets would absolutely die for that. 20x in 5 years, 4x a year, just by holding Tron, doing nothing else but holding it. And that's actually gone and found Tron all the way up here at 10th, which is quite phenomenal itself. So you can't really fade Tron. I definitely have Tron there. What do we got next? HBAR and ICP. Well, ICP is not even in the conversation anymore, unfortunately for them. So HBAR, yep. We've got AVAX and SUI. AVAX and SUI, I think, well, AVAX, I'd say, has achieved more, but then again, you've got the momentum behind SUI, so I think SUI's going to win that. Tron and Litecoin, like, fuck Litecoin off. It's just got that. Litecoin is not the silver to Bitcoin. Let's just get that straight. That's what people love. Binance Chain and Monero. I'd love to say Monero, but obviously Binance Chain's making moves. You got Solana and Mantra DAO OM. Mantra DAO is another one of these coins that's just done ridiculous numbers recently, and it shows that people are starting to clue on. Look at that. Like, holy shit. It's a weekly chart too, that I remember. Tell me the theory behind that. It's fucking crazy. That's one of the strongest. This and Tron are like two of the strongest things in crypto right now. People are just buying it. People are just shorting it because they just can't understand why it continues to go up. And that's the thing. You probably don't even need to understand why it goes up. It just does. It's getting up. It's losing that whole cheap narrative though. I mean, it's out of the cents. It's into the dollars. $6. Man, have a look. This thing's been around for a long time as well. This is, oh my god. Holy fuck. It's a 250x. 250x in a year. Oh, a bit more than a year. My lord. Whoa. Anyways, I get fixated on that chart, that's for sure. That's one of the best charts that you'll ever see ever. 250% in 250% in 15 months. 250x, bro. 250x. And near Cardano. Okay, so Cardano, the Cardano manlets are going to come in and win that surely. So Cardano comes in here. Well, should we go off what they've already put there, or should we go off what I think would? Yeah, Cardano comes out. Cardano will probably beat Mantra. I mean, you can't argue with Mantra's gains, but Cardano come in, win there. Cardano and that Litecoin Binance. Surely Binance will win there. So Binance will come and be Binance versus Cardano. Binance will win that. Binance will be in the final. Hype will come through, beat Aptos. HBAR will come up against Sui probably. Sui will win, so it'll be Hype versus Sui. That's actually a good little cup there. Hype versus Sui. We should probably do this ourselves, hey? It's actually semi-fun. Hype versus Sui. Sui, but nobody gives a fuck about altcoins at the moment. That's the problem. Hype versus Sui. I think Sui will, well, I mean, look how much this just torched Ethereum. Hype versus Sui. Hype. I think Hype will win, and then Hype versus Binance Chain. I think Hype will win this whole thing. So let's keep track of that. Moving on. In case anybody gave a fuck, I think this music might be just a touch loud. Is it? Hold on. There you go. That'd be better. U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick, the U.S. has already sold 1,000 gold cards in one single day. If you knew about that,
About 2 weeks from today, it goes out. Okay, Elon's building me the software right now.
Yeah.
Right, and then out it goes. And
I don't know if you're interested in that shit, anyways. But they're selling. Is it $5 million? $5 million for an American Visa. Okay, here we go. Here's some interesting shit. There is almost nothing left to sell, Seth CL. US fundamental long-short ratio. Long-short ratio. Very, very low. In fact, lowest it's been since the chart even shows, so over 5 years. Believe me, desperation provides plenty to sell. One stupid news article and bam. But if you haven't sold by now, it's probably too late. May as well hold on and wait for a rip. Only risk assets. Anyways, the sentiment is fucking low right now. People are sad. And even these stock market, all risk assets have been obliterated all round. Do not underestimate how much money from like the average Joe was actually in these risk stocks. For example, like Tesla. Like Tesla's down 54. Well, it's up now. So Tesla's down basically 50% from the top. There'll be a lot. It's stock like this, like sort of the Robinhood sort of stocks, the Teslas, the GameStops, even Nvidia. To be fair, like retail loves Nvidia, shit like that. They are all somewhat wrecked or down pretty bad, and people would have half their savings in Tesla, and you might have 50 grand in Tesla. Now it's 25, or maybe even you sold some at the bottom or something like that. Like people are struggling at the moment. Whether it's not just talking about crypto as well. That's the thing. But we do have good news, and that is that inflation is crashing. QT is ending. The dollar is tanking. Okay, so inflation is crashing. Eggs are going down. Things are becoming semi-cheaper. Not really in Australia. I've had a look at the property market yesterday, and yeah, yep. At least in the Sunshine Coast. Inflation is crashing. QT is ending, so that means the government. Oh, here we go. That means the government is stopping from tightening, stopping from buybacks. I'm stopping from selling. Sorry, stopping from selling. QE is buybacks. QT is ending, stopping from buybacks. The dollar is tanking. That is for sure. So we can flick over to the dollar here. The dollar. It was tanking. This is a 12-hour chart. One candle equals 12 hours. So if we go over to the daily chart, channel down hard. So I was expecting this channel to continue for a while, but then it just fell off the cliff. You might get let's look for a little bit of a knot. As fuck all. It truly was straight off the cliff, but you might get some sort of bounce up to like these areas here. See, there's a little bit of a stall. Fuck all of a stall. A lot of time you'll get like what's called a knot, where a price goes like that and then goes down, and that's just a really good place for people to put stop losses. And this is sort of the price usually comes up, hits the stop losses, and then goes even further down. That's typically what happens in general price action. And then you'd find if you zoomed out after that, you'd zoom out after that, and then you'd be like, again, something like that, and then you boom, and then you'd be like, okay, boom, and then look at that, wow, it's just channeling, and the steepness continues. It'd just be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd pretty much see exactly that. Oh fuck, what do I do? There we go. Bit steeper, like that, and that's probably what will happen, because these currency markets they trend hard, and because there's so much money in them, the trends typically just hold. That's why you'll see a lot of people, even spastics, they will have actually quite a lot of success doing like basic trend trading strategies on currency markets, and they will succeed a lot of the time just following trends, because trends are typically very tight. Because there's so much money in the market cap. I mean, like you do see, if you do flick over to, this is a dollar, right? The DXY. You do flick over here and you do see like wicks, like liquidation wicks and all that sort of stuff. But in reality, like from see, there's little price action. There's the median mean, like that's a 1% wick. So unless you got like fucking 70, 80x, 100x leverage, you're not going to get stopped out by that. It's like a stop hunt, but of just like try a 20% one, bruh. Welcome to crypto. But DXY is going down, that's for sure. We'll just continue on with this fella, which is over here. Long-term yields are falling. Global M2 is breaking out to all-time highs, which is a very, very interesting thing to look at. Global M2 is breaking out to all-time highs. This is liquidity. There's money supply. Global money supply is breaking out to all-time highs. What do you think is going to happen if there is more money in the system and the US government wants to buy as much Bitcoin as they can? I guess that's, yeah, well, I mean, they do. And Bitcoin is still trading for 80,000. Explain to me again why I should be bearish. I mean, facts, right? That's where that's where the money's made, is in the discrepancies in the markets. So the markets are full of discrepancies, and that's where you make the money. I mean, things don't make sense, and then that's how you make the dollars. Don't make sense, gonna make dollars. There is one driving force behind the push for QE, the push for more money supply, and the push for asset prices to absolutely pump, and that is Donald Trump. The Fed would be much better off cutting rates as US tariffs start to transition. He's just on the case. They transition their way into the common. Do the right thing, Jay Powell. April 2nd is Liberation Day in America. He wants the cuts to start. I mean, they fucking started in Australia, bruh. If anything, they should have started in America and kept going up in Australia, in my opinion. But a lot of people are interested in this. A lot of people are excited about this. A lot of people are happy that easing and the struggle, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of people, because with these rates high, like, unless you're leveraged, and by leveraged I could just mean in the property market or loans or anything, just general loans, variable loans. Not so much in America, because a lot of it's fixed. I mean, Americans, the Giga Chad move was to get a 3% or 2% 30-year fixed home loan in COVID when the rates were like zero. Obviously, the bank's got to make some money, so it's like 2% or something like that. But they get these fixed 30-year 2% loans on as much property as you can. Like, oh, that's what's missing in Australia. Arguably, somebody, like, for people that obviously want to expand their property portfolio, that's what's missing. But the QT being removed is something that's very, very popular. Jay Powell delivered. QT basically over. So Jay Powell said it within his words. QT basically over April 1st. The next thing we need to get bulled up for reals is, what the fuck does that even mean? Bulled up for reals is either SLR exemption or a restart of QE. So a restart of quantitative easing, where the Fed starts buying assets and bonds. Was BTC 77k the bottom? Probably. But stonks probably have more pain left to fully convert J to Team Trump. So stay nimble and cashed up. If you've got even, when the dip keeps dipping, if you've got any cash to even continue to buy. But altcoins can go lower while Bitcoin stays the same. Altcoins can go lower while stocks go lower, and Bitcoin can stay the same. Bitcoin can go a little bit lower. Maybe 77 was the bottom. Bitcoin could go 79, while everything else altcoins go minus 20%. That can all happen. But a lot of things can happen. But with these altcoins going down, how far they are right now, or even further, don't think that there's not big moves being played and big players buying, because big players are buying. Binance is buying Solana in massive quantities. So 16 million Solana. Up to 22 million Solana. So, what sort of gain is that? We're 16, here we go, percentage-wise, 16 up to 22, so 40%, which is like, let's not brush this under the rug. Binance's Solana holdings are up 40% in the past month, while the Solana price has been going down. This is a massive divergence. Solana price going down and a little bit sideways. Binance reserves of Solana going up. What does that mean? They are dumping to buy more. Yep. They make the dip and buy the dip. That's how centralized exchanges run the game. So, do you understand what's going on? Is that they sell their holdings for customers, but then also for themselves. So exchanges manipulate the price, like happily. Like exchanges make more money than just fees. Exchanges make a lot more money than just the fees. They're all competing. They're all market makers, market movers. There's a lot of shit going on with these exchanges, because imagine being an exchange, imagine being the gateway in and out of crypto. They have ample opportunity on many fronts to be able to make profit. Like, there are so many different ways of arbitrage, everything. There's so many ways that we wouldn't even know about. Nobody would probably know about unless exchanges, they keep it all to themselves. Different forms of manipulation and crazy tactics that they play against each other. That's why you always see the CEOs of these exchanges but clashing heads, because behind the scenes they've got teams working against each other for market share and all these sorts of things. Attacks, some semi sort of backdoor attacks. But Solana, Binance are clearly seen here pushing the price down, pushing the price down by selling the reserves, more reserves than what is needed to be sold, and then all of a sudden they're buying. This is the largest exchange in the world, remember. They are buying. They've bought 40% more Solana for fuck all. Okay, looking at the chart. For fuck all. Like, look at this. Look at the price here. Solana's down minus 55% from the highs. So half price Solana, they've bought it at. They've bought 40% more Solana for half the price in the past month. Okay? That's just mad gains. Let's just keep an eye on that sort of shit, okay? Because Binance are buying. Binance are very much, they contributed to the crash of Solana, and now they're buying it from people at the bottom, or at a potential bottom. This is potentially a massive bottom signal, as per one part of the title. Now we've got this fritzy, raging Asian homosexual called Tom Lee. Okay, he is maybe difficult to appreciate at face value for some, but for me, I quite enjoy this guy because he's consistent and he speaks the truth. So we're going to watch a little bit of a video from him. I haven't watched this yet, but it only dropped 3 hours ago, and it's about the tariffs, and he will most likely drop a bit of Bitcoin chat in there. So we're going to watch this together, and we will see what he says, and then we'll move on to the charts, my favorite part of the stream, because I've got some very interesting things to show you there.
Partner and head of research, Tom Lee, a CNBC contributor. It's good to have you. What do you make of this report? I mean, part of the uncertainty of all of this has been the, iron fist, maybe olive branch. Back to the iron fist, maybe an olive branch. What do you make of it?
Well, I think markets should interpret it positively, because I think when we talk to our clients, many are viewing tariffs as punitive, potentially protectionist, and driving several economies into recession. This sounds like that we could actually have a positive case scenario with these tariffs, one that's either mutually agreed upon or if it's reciprocal, but maybe a good deal for businesses. And I think it would set the stage for a much bigger recovery rally than we expect.
Afterwards, right?
Yes,
I mean,
after.
The problem is the paralysis, if you will, between now and then. Like, what are we supposed to do over the next 10 days?
That's the dilemma, right? Because we still have 8 trading days till April 2nd. Most investors are getting just nauseous from the volatility. So they want to throw in the towel. But we also know that markets will bottom, or have historically bottomed, before the event actually happens. The best example is the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. That was a 12-day crisis. The stock market bottomed 7 days into that crisis, recovered 2/3 of the losses before the resolution. So I think that's a decent template for today.
What about the economy? I mean, listen to Nike, FedEx, put that on top of what we've already heard. Are you concerned about where the economy is going?
It's been pretty shocking how quickly sentiment deteriorated. I can understand for consumers because the president's very divisive, but for CEOs, that's been a shock. CEO confidence has fallen, and they've kind of been sitting on their hands. So we know there's an impulse of a growth shock underway. But if this is something that doesn't last months, then it's very temporary.
I mean, it depends, to what degree consumers remain skittish. CEOs are paralyzed in their own right because they can't really make any moves because they're not sure what's going to happen, and ultimately whether a growth scare spirals into something else, which Jeffrey Gundlach gave me his view yesterday right here on Closing Bell. Listen.
I do think the chance of recession is higher than most people believe. I actually think it's higher than 50% coming in the next few quarters.
50, 60%? I mean, if he's right, what does that mean for the stock market?
Well,
too expensive.
Well, the S&P had a 10% drawdown. That's already priced 40% chance of a recession. I'd say the markets aren't agreeing necessarily with his view because China, Europe, Canada, Mexico have been massively outperforming the U.S. since February 18th. Those economies should be tumbling into recession if we have punitive tariffs. So I think markets are actually more paralyzed than necessarily pessimistic. And
I'm sorry, finish your thought.
But because the market is the economy, I think to the extent that stocks rebound sharply after April 2, if they do, I think it really staves off future economic
Is the
weakness.
market the real economy?
I think these days, to me, I think it's a really good snapshot of actual sentiment and actually even CEO decisions. Because as you know, when stocks fall, companies lose confidence. And as stocks recover, CEOs gain confidence.
What about the idea that Gundlach also put forth that in his words, unintended consequences of all of the rhetoric from the president is making people think twice, especially overseas, about investing in the U.S., and the view that Europe is just a better value and offers even less risk than before? How do you play that?
We hear a lot of folks talking about that, but as you know, Europe tends to be single stock concentrated indices. So if you're buying Europe, you're basically buying industrials and financials. If you're buying Korea, you're buying Samsung. So I think if someone is looking for the best companies, they're still going to end up buying the U.S. One of the things that we have to keep in mind is this trade deal, if it's acceptable, could actually basically sort of blunt this whole issue of trade in the future, and it would actually make the U.S. more attractive again.
Few interesting things that he said there, actually. One being that markets typically bottom before the resolution. So markets typically bottom before the resolution. The resolution in this case, he brought up some Cuban missile crisis. I don't know if there's anything that he could have brought up between the 60s and now. Maybe a bit short on examples there, old Tom Lee. But regardless of that, the April 2nd reciprocal tariffs to kick in. Just bring this over here for you, just so you understand what he's talking about April 2nd. White House official says tariffs to take effect April 2nd. Negotiations to lower tariffs needed ahead of April 2. So April 2 is somewhat D-Day. And he also mentioned in that explanation that the market's not so much pessimistic at the moment. It seems really pessimistic, but anyways, not so much pessimistic at the moment as it is frozen, because like what we've talked about previously in these videos is that people don't know how to handle Trump. Trump's come in swinging the deck, swinging that deck, hitting people right in the turkey, and people just don't know how to react. They're just like, what the fuck's he going to do next? He's literally done everything that he said he's going to do by the looks of it so far. But he's just coming in just doing crazy shit. And people they're paralyzed. They're risk off. It's like, okay, we don't have certainty. Markets love certainty. Markets hate uncertainty. Markets love resolution. Markets love hope, narratives, expectancies. Markets hate fear, uncertainty, doubt, obviously the FUD. Markets just hate it when there isn't just an answer. This equals this. Like markets are just like, okay, well, interest rates are dropping. Market's going to pump. Like people just look for, obviously the easy explanation. And by the time people accept the easy explanation, the trend's already well and truly kicked off because people try and go against the trend at the start. So it's just like things can bottom. Things can bottom before the resolution. All right, you can tie that back in there yourself, but that's literally what he's saying, is that all this shit can happen, and markets can just completely risk off without actually being pessimistic about the future, because it seems like there's a pretty bright future for Trump, especially when it comes to markets. I mean, he's a businessman, he's a market man, he's a market guy. Trump is the market guy. I don't know if you've been following it for the last 50 years or something, but Trump is a market guy. He loves the markets, property markets, every market. Trump loves the markets, and he loves being seen as the guy that brings on the pump. He's got a lot of friends that love the pump. Trump rhymes with pump. It's the Trump pump. Unfortunately, Trump also rhymes with dump. So that just gives us sort of an expectancy of we're going to experience through his presidency term. We're going to experience the many pump and many dump. So there's a lot going on with that, but that's a very crucial insight from Tom Lee that we just talked about, where he said that markets might not necessarily be pessimistic, they're just risk off. And we see that in the crypto market massively, because obviously it's heavily risk off, because altcoins have been absolutely wrecked much, much harder than what Bitcoin's been wrecked, because Bitcoin is a far less risky play. Bitcoin's widely accepted now. Bitcoin is levels above even Ethereum and Solana. Bitcoin is the immaculate conception of Bitcoin being as close to digital gold as anything that anyone's ever seen before. It's truly quite like risk off itself. I mean, it's not at the level of gold yet, clearly. That's going to take another 100,000 years. No, but it's going to take a little bit more time, obviously. But Bitcoin, like selling altcoins, that's risk off. Selling Bitcoin's not so much risk off. So people being frozen and scared and uncertain of what the fuck Trump's going to do next is the key to that. But we'll keep going on. I could continue ranting about that. We'll move on. But and there was also another interesting thing that, speaking of Bitcoin, we'll have a look at it now. But there was another interesting thing that he said there also was about CEOs. So he said, Tom Lee said, CEOs of companies gain a lot of confidence when their stock is going up. So there's even at the highest level, CEOs are tied emotionally to their share prices and their investments. So they get the alpha mentality, the giga chad mentality when the prices are pumping, therefore encouraging them to expand and do brave, courageous, somewhat risky moves, looking to add value to the companies themselves. So there's a lot in there. It's not just you. If your stocks and your crypto or your investments are doing shit, and then you start becoming low T, you start sleeping less, getting less sex because you're feeling it. It's not just you. The biggest CEOs in Silicon Valley are also emotionally attached to their investment prices, clearly, as he says. So this is Bitcoin. This is a Bitcoin chart. One candle equals 1 day. Now we're clicking on it. All right. There's been a big channel, man. There's been a big channel. We've had a couple of lines drawn because we are optimistic for the prices. A lot of people, typically, technically speaking, you'd be looking for a higher low or a lower low, just more or less a low. These are sort of the three options that are being available to us right now. As we've said before, previously, once everything is sweet with Bitcoin. In fact, it's better than ever. And once Bitcoin turns around and everyone's just like, okay, we're back on. We're back on. Are we back on? When everyone says, okay, we're back on, the FOMO back into Bitcoin is just going to be like, we're going to see some big green candles because it's a bull market still, at least in Bitcoin. 2, Bitcoin is a fucking sought after scarce asset by not just people in their mum's basement anymore. Bitcoin has never been fucking better. Listen to me right now. Bitcoin has never, ever been better. Like the arguments that you used to have, or I used to have with people about why Bitcoin, I'm talking whether it's 7 years ago, whether it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years ago, the arguments that I used to have and entertain with people, trying to do them a favor by explaining Bitcoin to them, I don't even bother with anymore. Like, if you're not, it's like, I don't even have to, like, BlackRock's done the argument for me. Everyone's done, like, the world's already done the argument. Like, just do, if you're not interested in just maybe opening up, watching one single video or putting in one single ounce of effort into understanding why Bitcoin is king and key, then it's not even like, I was just like, I'm tired, boss. There's not really it's just got to this point where Bitcoin is just like, it used to be like, nah, yeah, but like trying to convince people, almost sounding like I'm trying to convince myself that Bitcoin's the future. It's like it is now. It's done. Like it is the future. Like it's the argument's over. Like there's no more convincing. It's like, you know what I mean? That's where it's at. And once this sort of this market pessimism or market freeze stops and is widely accepted, everyone's just going to be like, what the hell? Bitcoin was 70, 78K, 77K and I didn't buy any? What the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like, everyone's just going to be rushing straight to 200. People are going to start talking about 150K again, 200K again, 200K before end of 2025. It's just going to be like, boom. I'm telling you right now, it's just going to be like, probably, we might have a grind. Like, there's a lot of ways that this can go, obviously, because it's markets. I'm telling you, it can go sideways for a while, whatever. But once the green comes, it's coming heavily. Let's move over to this chart. Bitcoin, 1 candle equals 1 day. For now, the safe option is to just stay alert, stay active in the market, and wait for signs of confirmation with a trend reversal. Okay, because as you can see, it doesn't get much more simpler than this. Bitcoin is trending down in a big channel. It does these moves, trends, ranges, trends, flags, somewhat a range, trends, flags. Okay, so typically trends, like, it's quite difficult to put in a bottom, you know what I'm saying? Like, putting in a bottom is a difficult act. You just expect a trend to just trend, either range or flag, trend, range, and then until the trend is finally over with typically speaking starts with a higher low. That's how a trend ends. Okay, trend reverses. It's just lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Then it's a higher low, and then all of a sudden it's a higher high, and then people try and short it, and then it's just like typically speaking, a really tight higher low, a shockingly tight higher low, and people don't get another entry. Here we go, like something like this. Example. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, actually, there's a higher low. That was a higher low. Then high. Oh, here we go. Here comes the. Oh, sorry about you. Oh shit! I better turn this. Okay, sweet. Sorry, headphone users. I'm getting some alerts here. We're going to move on to these altcoins very shortly. God damn. I'll turn this down till it's over. Fucking hell. Yeah, and then look, really, so you got the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then you get that really tight higher low where people just don't even get a chance, and then full send trend reversal. That's what's gonna most likely. That's what typically happens. So we're just talking, anything can happen, but this is typically what happens in markets, man. You're just gonna look for like what's statistically the most likely scenario, and that's just typical standard trend following, trend chasing, trend reversals. That's just how it goes on all time frames. Moving over to Ethereum. This is Ethereum chart. One candle equals 12 hours on here. I love the 12-hour chart. We are blessed in crypto to have 24/7 markets where we are available to a 12-hour chart, because in traditional finance, where the markets are only open for 12 hours, you don't get a 12-hour chart. The 12-hour chart is the exact same as the one-day chart. What we're seeing here is a range. So this is quite an easy play for Ethereum here. This is quite an easy play because if this stays above, so this is a range here, you can see that the range is, it's like sort of a rectangular price action, and then you get blue giga bars right there. You can see the blue giga bars. So that means price volatility. A big move's coming. We see it had it over here. It was more of a flag. But at the same time, I mean, you can draw a rectangle over it. See this? Just drawing a bit of a rectangle over it. Most 90-something% of price action was in within this tight rectangle. Then you get one final bull trap. And then you get the expansion all the way down to the red bars. And this is no joke. Like, this is quite a large move from top to bottom. 35% on Ethereum, a large asset. So now what you're seeing here is you've got the range, the consolidation, the type volatility. You've had potentially a head fake or the start of the move. So this is the difficult part. This is the part where you can trade it quite actively and quite well in this area, because what happens here is, if the price comes back down into this range, then that's caution for high alert. You can see that the price has now gained the liquidity. So it's gone up here. It's bull trapped a lot of people, potentially. It's bull trapped a lot of people. It's taken out a lot of shorts. A lot of people go short here. This is 18th, 11th. This is like a full week of just ranging sideways. So you can imagine all the shorts jumping in, expecting another leg lower. This has come out and hit a lot of stop losses up here. Big head fake. So now, for example, you can go long with the stop loss back down here, because you know that if it comes back down in this range, it's most likely going to go lower now, because it's had its liquidity grab. It's filled the bags, or you can go short now and expect that to be the top. Okay, so if this does this, then okay, we're long. It's like the long is on. What I'm saying is a big move is about to happen. The big move has actually started, and you can pick a direction. Now that you've got a lot of options, but this is a crucial time for it to turn around, because if it comes back down into this sort of range, it means it's had its go, and then it's very, very likely that actually this was the liquidity grab, because most moves have some form of liquidity grab, whether it's in the form of a large couple of candles or it's in the form of just a slow grind up. Like, that's literally the definition of a bear flag. Yeah, so very important time to be watching a lot of these altcoins, especially Ethereum. Solana is a little bit different. We're going to flick over to Solana and have a look. Solana, it's just been this same old story that I've been talking about for a long time, more or less, pretty much a month. And that story is, if Solana holds above $125, I'm bullish. Yes, this is a nerve-wracking area because it's not just bouncing off it, and yes, that is somewhat of a bear flag right there. It's grinding up like what we've seen many times before. Seen it there, seen it sort of there, seen it there. It just flags up, grinds up. People think it's the bottom, takes another leg down, fucks everyone up. Just like that, it just flags, bear flags, bear flags, bear flags. It's just doing that. But this $125 mark has been broken many times, but then it's held. So we're not talking about it getting pierced. We're talking about what happens after it gets pierced and the stop loss get hit. It holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 times the price has hit $125, now 12, and then come back above it. So as long as it's above 125 times, $125, it's literally held for over a year. So long spot bag long until you just start getting like, I'm talking candle close. It's just like this sort of shit where it's just like it's just like, okay, yep. And then you start looking for sub $100 prices. I mean, people don't like consistent. People, I know people like talking uncertainties, and that's I will argue that's why one of the reasons why we're not getting a whole lot of views over the years, because I'm talking in the fucking real world. The real world is statistics and probabilities. If you can get a 51% edge, then that's something that people froth over. Like, for example, it's just like a casino. Just imagine if we were doing 1,000 trades a day with a 55% edge, and an average of $1,000 profit on the winners. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You're going to end up with a decent amount of coin every single day, and that's what they strive for with statistical trading. If they just have like 1%, 51%, this is what Wall Street are doing. They just churn trades, churn numbers. All they need is 1% win rate, and as long as if they're doing numbers, if they're doing 1,000 trades a day, 10,000 trades a day with 1% edge, 1% gain, they make millions of dollars. So we just got to talk like this is how it is. This is how it is. No, the only certainty that I have is that Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million eventually. That's literally probably my only crypto certainty. This is total 2. So we've got to keep an eye on this one. This is crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoins. This is all the altcoins, the market cap of all the altcoins. And sometimes this can be actually really, really good and really insightful, because you can sort of see, like the market cap, like some of these altcoins, some of them will be pumping, some of them will be dumping. Maybe the ones that are in your portfolio are doing shit, and you don't really realize that the market's actually turned around because you don't have the ones that are doing well. But if you go over to total 2 or even total 3, if you want to remove Ethereum, but I don't really think you need to remove Ethereum anymore. But if you go over to total 2, you can see and you can realize that maybe outside of your little echo chamber, your little bubble of your select shitcoins, the market could be actually recovering quite well as a whole. And when I say market, I mean altcoin market, clearly, because this excludes Bitcoin. So the altcoin market could be doing quite well. And it is trending up. I mean, this is just another bear flag. It's just seeing this same sort of shit, right? But there's nothing stopping this from just continuing to get money in at any point. So just keep a close eye on this, especially when it's at these areas, because this is somewhat of an inflection point. Moving on to our old friend Doge. Doge is doing that same shit. We explained recently about how it is doing that range. Volatility is extremely low, and hasn't really had a whole lot of it has a little bit of a liquidity grab up the top here. I know it's a lot of scribble, but I'm just talking. This range is extremely tight in Dogecoin. There's a lot of Dogecoin getting changed hands, like people, a lot of buying and selling, tightly in these areas. A lot of people capitulating on their Doge and then passing it over to Dogecoin optimists, people that think that it's going to be the future currency of Mars. But fuck, strange things happen, man, when you're going around the twist. Here's some sort of good news for XRP. XRP, credit where credit's due, man. This thing made those ridiculous $3.20 highs, and it's holding. It's fucking holding. There's not really a blow. Like, is the blow off top in the room with you right now? You got to respect the pump. Two people walk into a room. One of them made 5% gains with Solana. One of them made minus 10% buying Bitcoin top, and one of them made plus 200%. There's three people in the room, and one of them made plus 200% buying XRP. Who's the G? Who's the G? Is it the dude that lost money on Bitcoin? How commendable, how honorable. Is it the dude that made a little bit of gains on Solana? Congrats. Or is it the Chad that made 200% on XRP? Okay, who's the G? Who gives a fuck how you made those gains, man? As long as, no babies or animals were harmed in the process. Look, the pimple face virgin who made $15 million on peanut meme coin is gonna get the mansion and the 10 out of 10 looks, 1 out of 10 personality girl, and that's just the unfortunately that's just the raw world that we live in. We've already looked at the DXY. This is gold. So yeah, this is the gold chart that we've been waiting for, the sort of the toppy sort of look, and this is what's happening now with gold. So I'm expecting just to pull back into this range somewhat around that 3K, and you're going to see this bounced off the 3K level. So like I said, I'm just expecting this. So wait, where is it? This. Something like this. When it broke 2K, gold broke 2K, had this massive week. I don't know if we're going to get that much, but had 2K, and then come back down under 2K, and then it ranged. It went sideways after that, it went sideways for 3 months before another leg higher. So yeah, that's typically what it does. It makes crazy new momentous achievements, and then it ranges. So yeah, I think hitting over 3K is fucking. That's huge. It's crazy. It's like, the Peter Schiffs of the world would be a little squirt of wheat come out, even when they're not even thinking about gold, and then a little bit of squirt of wheat comes out, and they're just like, oh, that's right. I just pissed myself because gold hit 3K. Almost forgot about gold hitting 3K for a second there. That's what the gold bugs would be doing. They'll just be like talking, they're just talking about the football, and then just realize that there's some wheat coming out, and they go, oh, that's right. Gold hit 3K. I'm just so excited. I pissed myself again. And that's what's, that's how important it is. Now, onto the fun. This is the altcoins. let's have a look at these altcoins. We just got a fresh batch of blue bars right then. Okay, so as you can see on the right here, there's been a lot of gigabar. Oh my god. Some of these charts look a little bit different. Most of these charts look the same. Ooh, Litecoin. Mover. I know Mover's somewhat popular. Okay, let's be real here. Let's be real here. Since start of December, 90% of these shitcoins have been going down in this channel. They've all got their own sort of channels. We can draw them very easily. Just sort of grab the low, grab the lows, grab the highs. You've got all these bull traps where it breaks up above these channels. Just takes liquidity, hits everyone's stop losses, makes people bullish. All these trend line traders just get fucked up. Some of these channels are at the top, and some of these channels are sort of breaking above. Some of these channels are sort of breaking above, which is two things, clearly, as always. Price go up, price go down. But you will notice that a lot of these channels, when they break above, it's fast, it's hard, it's sharp. It is a stop loss run. It is people's like shorters stop losses getting hit, and then new shorters bags getting filled. The market movers, the smart money, the ones that actually make the coin. Not retail. But this is a little bit different. It's starting to grind up. It's holding. I mean, as we know, these channels are subjective. So if this did continue down, if the price did turn around and then continue down lower, then all we do, all right, this is why trend lines sort of suck, is because all we do is just like, okay, well, we just move this up here. Pretty much, we just adjust the trend line to fit the new price action. It'd be like, okay, I'll just move it to like there, and then all of a sudden this is encompassed in the trend line, and then trend line continues, like, you know what I mean? And then it just continues down, and then we're just like, yep, that was just another bull trap. So what I'm saying is, this is at an area now where the trade goes on. If you are a breakout trader, you're going long. If you're an optimist, you're going long. If you think that the bottom has been put in, you're probably going long. And if you are on the other side of the coin, you're probably going short, because it's just going to be just yet another opportunity for a bull trap and another opportunity for a fantastic short. Just like all of these before it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty much 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10. This would just be like the 11th time that you could go short on a shitcoin like NKN, whatever the fuck that is, and make money. Okay, especially with this Giga Stochastic flipping over heavily from the highs. We got blue bars up here at the top, similar to like there. And this is just one of those times. So realistically speaking, if you have any interest, and this is not absolutely nothing in this video is financial advice whatsoever, but if you have any interest in going short this market, expecting another leg lower, think that the direction is going to be down, for you to not go short right now on these altcoins is a fucking waste of an opportunity. And yeah, that's it, full stop. Like this is the time at the tops of these channels that you can literally draw on every single chart. This is the moment that you go short. Now, what I will say is, on a lot of these coins, okay, on a lot of these coins which are getting to the top of this channel, it actually is very rare bring back the tunes. Very rare for a blue bar to occur at the top of the channel like that. Okay, so a lot of these coins they don't get the luxury. This one got it, sort of midway. It usually happens, and look at this. Where would you draw these channels? Like, because this one's clearly, this is Atom. This is clearly exited what we expect the channel to be. Clearly. Look at that. Clearly outside the channel. So that's different. Something has changed there. Clearly. So very, very interesting point of time here with these altcoins. If you start seeing shit like this, where it's like we talked about earlier, potentially a higher low, and it starts coming up like that, and you get these little tight little green bars, then that turns out to be the head fake, and it's good enough opportunity as any for this to be the market bottom. So again, look, since early December, which has been 3 months or so right now, we're getting big gigabars at what can really be the best opportunity here for a potential bottom for this market. This is getting the time. This is getting the time there where it's just like, okay, this is getting the time. So, I mean, as always, picking the direction is the most difficult part for many reasons, emotionally, and whether it's data driven or not. It's the hardest part is picking the direction, of course, and then executing it well. Probably executing it well is probably the hardest part, to be honest, because you can pick the right direction and then fuck it. But this is just a seriously big point. I mean, if you are short, if you want to go short, and look at that. Now that looks fucking weak as shit. Look at that, bearish as fuck, just falling over, just curling over there. That's a fucking, oh my god. Little wet, getting wet around the mouth there. That's ugly as hell. That's weak as shit. That chart's fucked. That chart is fucked. It's just this like slow burn and short opportunity for shorts. That's disgusting. Pure filth. Look at that. Wow, 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 wow. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you are, look at that. I mean, that's AVAX. That's relatively bullish there too, because it's had this massive race for the lows. It's coming up, and there's, yeah. So conformist bears, this is your chance to open up another short. Steel nut bulls, this is the big dick opportunity to try and time along at the bottom. I'll leave it at that. In the Discord, I'll be talking about any trades that I'm putting on, stuff like that. A little bit of a Bitcoin trade, potentially, all this sort of shit. And we'll talk about that. A couple of here's, there's, and everywheres. That'll be all in the Discord. Do another separate video again soon. Thank you for listening. If you have, hit like and subscribe or follow and all that sort of shit. We'll spread the word. We'll try and help Australians, especially, but anybody, do realistic market analysis, technical analysis. Peace and love. Happy Saturday. Have a great weekend. Do not waste your time. Talk soon.